Going live. This hangout is on air. Daphne?
Yay! Hello, welcome, agents. It is about 9 p.m. here in the East Coast Daylight Time, and I am Daphne D., known here in Washington, D.C. as Agent Miss Parker. And I am thrilled to be tonight's host for Behind the Scanner. So this is episode number 3 now, and yeah, we're grateful that you are here for our weekly Thursday night broadcast. It's May 8th, 2014, and we've enabled the Q&A tool for this hangout. So if you have any specific questions for one of our guests tonight, please submit them on there. It just makes things a little bit easier if you can put the @ symbol with preceding the person's name that you'd like to address the question to. That way we know whom to ask the question for. And our producer, Andrew, will be checking on your submissions, and we will ask 1 or 2 questions for each interview. As a reminder, for this week, we'll be giving away some capsule codes and other passcodes to people with the best submitted questions. And for each guest, we will notify them later on after the show, and we'll announce them next week. Anyway, we also have a Google form that you can use to submit recommendations for guests, and that link is http://bit.ly/BTS for Behind the Scanner _guest. Anyway, so my 2 co-hosts that they had so much fun with me and that they wanted to come back, so yay, thanks guys. And given who our guests are tonight, I can understand why. I also promised them ice cream so they wouldn't go, so they wouldn't quit. So who are they? My first co-host tonight brings the R in Ingress, known as Agent Triskel from the Mexican Resistance. Please say bienvenidos to Jorge Pedrero. Yes, so welcome.
Hello. Thank you, Dee. Release the Kraken. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here again, 3rd episode, and with 2 incredible guests. This show is going to be wonderful.
Yay. All right, and my second co-host comes right down the highway from me. He brings more to his agent name than being fun at college parties. Welcome, Andrew Krug, also known as Red Solo Cup.
I love you, Red Solo Cup. Thank you, Daphne. I appreciate it. I also took your advice this week. In an effort to sort of jazz it up a bit and respect our guests, I'm wearing pants, so.
TMI! TMI!
I know.
Oh, you don't scare them away.
That's okay. All right, let's get into it. Our first guest tonight hails from Monterrey, Mexico, actually. Did you feel the same earthquake that Jorge had? You have to enable her camera. There you go.
Oh, and you have to unmute yourself.
Evil Witch, you have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
There you go. Welcome. Hey.
Hi, how are you? No, I didn't actually feel the earthquake because we are here practically in the middle of a mountain zone, so there are no earthquakes here. But I know that Jorge was a very brave man about them.
Yes, he not only showed up, but he's also working the controls tonight, so doing a great job.
So with that, welcome. Appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for the invite.
So Jorge, do you have a question for your country mate here?
Sure. Hi, Evil. How are you?
Hi.
Long time no see you. Can you tell the people that is watching the show right now more about yourself? Where do you live? What do you do when you are not playing Ingress?
Well, I live in Monterrey, Mexico. I am from Monterrey, Mexico. We are known all around the Mexico country like Regiomontanos. I was actually a very private person before playing Ingress, even though I study acting and I was working as an actress a few years ago back in Mexico. I was practically not doing anything when my brother told me about this wonderful new experience, the first augmented reality game that I ever know. And well, I decided to push and ask after several postings for an invite, and there is the urban legend that I'm the first Mexican player because I got the first invite. I'm not quite sure that if it's actually right, but I was at least the first one in Monterrey, and I got the invite even before my brother.
Nice.
We can go with that. We'll call you the first Mexican Resistance player. That's good.
Yeah. There is the urban legend says that I'm the first one. I'm not actually. I mean, that I don't have the way to know. But
Right.
it's the first day that the game went public, or well, beta, in this case, is when I got the invite.
Nice. Okay. So I'm curious, how did you come up with the name Evil Witch?
Well,
You don't seem very
actually.
evil to me.
It's what everybody says, but actually the name or the ID name Evil Witch was given by a friend like 4 years ago, precisely because I'm not that nice, or at least I like to push. I don't like no's as an answer, and I always get what I want. So that's the reason. So why not to use it for the game?
A follow-up question, if my co-hosts don't mind. So, do the the Enlightened also feel that way about you being the Evil Witch?
Yeah.
Sure.
Actually, I think they do. At least the local Enlightened, they do.
Okay, got it. Frogs beware. Or what do you call us, the Enlightened players? Like, obviously you have Smurfs, but do you have a nickname for the green team?
No, mostly we call them frogs.
Okay.
Some particular ones we call them trolls, but
That's universal.
Yeah. Well, as well, I know there must be trolls around here from our faction, but from my end, when I'm getting someone into the community, I always tell them that the first rule is not to troll anybody, not a com, at least. If they have something particular to tell to anybody, well, we can make some kind of settles, because I don't like the bullying. I'm against it.
Understand.
You need to change the name to Officer Evil Witch, because it sounds like you're laying down the law down there. Pretty good.
I had my Smurfette just behind me.
Nice.
That is the only nice and sweet things around here. I mean, I am the Evil Witch, and I will always be.
Is she holding a broom over there too?
No. Okay. My saeta de fuego. What is the name in English? Jorge.
Your what?
My saeta de fuego, like the one in Harry Potter. It's not available currently.
No, I don't know.
The Harry Potter movie had the Nimbus 2000, Nimbus 2000, and the next broom, but I don't know the name in English actually. I'm sorry, it's not available.
Okay.
Fireball.
Ah, nice.
Let's get a little personal for a second. You mentioned that you had some personal fears of yours, and you were a person that stayed inside. So, how exactly, though, did Ingress help you to get out of your shell? I mean, obviously, clearly, you're here talking to the entire internet, so you've come a long way. But how did that transformation happen?
Well, actually, as I mentioned before, I was living in Mexico for a long time, like 8 years. It was a very, very hard time. By the end, I had to leave the city not in a good way for me. I had too many things left behind, not closing properly several circles. And precisely that's why I do not like bullying. I mean, I face a lot of bullying. My family faced a lot of bullying. It was a very, very hard time for me. And when I leave Mexico, when I came back to Monterrey, I have several issues, personal, like feeling and psychological issues. I had to overcome being a paranoid person. I was just like I stayed in my room, inside my room, not going out, but going to the bathroom and sometimes to the nearest store. And after getting into Ingress, I mean, I was just took me a year or so to get out of my room. Then, of course, I had to work and all, having a normal life. When Ingress came to my life, and my brother decided that he will play with me, I started to go to my town, to my city, met again with the city, know the city again, and getting in touch with people. I was not actually getting in touch with anybody but my family. So finally, because of the last anomaly, Jorge and my local community, which I send you a kiss to all of you guys, you rock. They sent me to Mexico, so I had to face all of my fears, the ones that were left behind, and kick them all. It was a wonderful experience for me. It was like a express trip, 30 hours, but in all that time, I had accomplished I overcome my biggest fear, and I'm ready to take over the world. Nothing will stop me ever again.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Evil.
Jorge.
You're a very visible part of the Mexican resistance, but you also have participated on a number of cross-faction events. Are these things pretty social where you play, or do you try to make it that way?
Well, I'm trying to make it that way. For me, the most important part is, even though we are against each other, Enlightened versus resistance versus Enlightened. This is for the general purpose, a game. It's a social game. And as I was so hidden for that time, I just want to be open with the people. It's not always possible, but as far as I have the chance to get in touch with someone, if I have a chance getting a barbecue or even a coffee with any other faction player, I will be more than glad to do it, and I'm open to do so always.
Nice.
So you and I have interacted a little bit, you know, in Kelly's Ingress happy hour. Actually, we've had some conversations, and I know that your G+ feed seems to be a bit of, and don't take this the wrong way, but a little nerdy. In fact, you call yourself that. And there's a lot of Doctor Who posts as well on your G+ feed. So I'm assuming you like science fiction in general, and if you do, and especially given the Doctor Who stuff you put, who is your favorite Doctor Who?
Oh, for sure, Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor. I know, and everybody has like, some people is telling me, no, that is like too childish. This is the Doctor Who that I like. I mean, it's funny. It's taking risk every time. Everything seems to be okay. Let's see the positive part. I actually like a lot like the science fiction. I'm a fan of Star Wars, of course, and well, I loved all of the science fiction things. It's weird. I'm not that kind of brainy, but I like that stuff. I love Doctor Who. I like to be called impossible girl sometimes, and that's me rocking your wife.
So when did you actually start watching Doctor Who? Are you somebody that came into it, you know, way after the fact? Have you been watching it for years?
I have been watching it actually for very short time, like the last year or so. I had recently my brother got Netflix. We were uh, noticing that we had BBC in our video provider. It was like, yeah, would you have BBC now? And when the first time that I saw it, like, oh, wow. And I start to check all of the previous seasons. I have like 6. Every Sunday we're getting a marathon here, like 10 hours for all of the Doctor Who's. So, and as well I like Sherlock. I like Sherlock a lot.
Okay, and I've also heard that I think it's really interesting, John Malkovich. And now, given how evil you are, especially against Enlightened Farms, if you had to choose between smashing a level 8 Enlightened Farm or watching some of his movies, which would you choose?
That is a good question, and it will depend. If the level 8 farm is John Malkovich farm, I think I will definitely go get it, because definitely I will get his attention.
Interesting. Which John Malkovich movie is your favorite one?
Dangerous Liaisons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valmont. All right, so go ahead.
Every time that I watch one of his movies, it's like, oh, he's so sexy. I can't help it. I mean, that one, the man in the Iron Mask, he's so changing with every character. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. I mean, I had to say it.
Gosh, I wish we were more like Oprah and I could say, and here presenting, but unfortunately, we're a little low budget.
Someday, maybe.
For a follow-up show or something. But yeah, so I'm sure some of the viewers here have some questions that they'd also like to share with you. Andrew, do we have anything up?
We do. Actually, we just had another really good one come in. So if you don't mind, we'll take 2 questions. I think I know the answer to the first one, but Adrian Michael Nita, sorry if I butchered your last name, wants to know what your favorite activity in Ingress is. Is it nuking, fielding, intel, collaborating, that sort of thing?
Well, it will be weird that I say this, but actually it's farming. I do like to go and jog, and I mean, in my jogging area I submitted lots of portals. So my jogging area is where I go, oh, okay, my next portal, hack. So I'm taking a 2-hour running every day, and every time that I'm going, it's like I'm farming, and then I give all my gear away to the players around me.
So not only are you an evil witch, but you have a heart of gold.
Yeah, I kind of have it sometimes. I need to change that. I don't know. But all this time, I'm not getting yet a katsu. My capsule has been given by my brother.
Wow.
He got the capsule and he told me, well, but you're the one who gives the gear away, so take it. Like, okay. My portals are not loving me anymore. I have a lot of badass, I have Jarvis virus, but no capsule.
Maybe with the latest update that'll change. Hopefully they've increased some things. So,
That's right.
Somebody else watching who's a Doctor Who fan has a question for you. Who is your favorite antagonist in Doctor Who? Who is your favorite sort of bad guy?
The Master.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Master, yeah, because it's his own family, his own blood, his own species, and it's against the Doctor.
Yeah.
Jorge, do you have any questions?
Is there any other question for the audience?
We'll keep it at that for now.
Okay, then I want to say something. You're the most well-known women in Mexico in the Ingress world. you know. Um, do you feel a certain responsibility to your
I lost you, Jorge.
community because of this?
Oh. Can you repeat the question? I think you froze for us.
Yes, you froze.
Oh, I'm okay now?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Yes?
Yep.
I was saying that you are the girl that is the most well known in the world of Ingress, the Mexican girl, you know. So, but does this make you feel with a certain responsibility to your community?
Well, of course it does. But I'm not that kind of, how can I say it, like epiholic or that kind of the battle gamer. It's the actually it's for me the first to give a name video game ever. So I don't have any kind of experience previously on kind of the virtual world. Of course, and I feel that my first responsibility is to be an honest player. I mean, I'm always there. You can always see me. Um, I'm trying to be as open as is possible, and I'm trying to encourage because, of course, every person has their own values and projects sometimes to encourage the fair play and encourage the no bullying, no trolling, because it's a very diverse game. It's a very large community, and that's what I think it's actually my responsibility with my local players and as well with the Latin American in the case of the ones who know me for the game.
Good to know. And while we're on that topic, as a fellow female player, I'm actually curious what the environment is like, maybe ratios, because when I first started over a year ago, it was, oh gosh, I don't know, I mean, 8-to-1, male to female. And now it's starting to get more equal. But how is it in Mexico, or at least in your particular area?
Well, actually, here is like we are getting more female players because at the beginning it was practically only me with like 40 guys, and now all of those guys are bringing their girlfriends. So there is actually a guy that doesn't have a girlfriend. I won't say the name, and we are like, oh, okay. You need to get a girlfriend because all of the rest of the guys are getting their girlfriends into it. And as well, he's becoming very popular, and he's one of the best resistance players that we have here. So he's like, "You need a girlfriend. Let me get your girlfriend. Let me try to find a girlfriend, a gamer girlfriend for you." So it will be all of the faction getting with their girlfriends playing around.
Nice.
I have two couples that I have one in particular that I used to call them the explosive couple. In Spanish, we'll say pareja explosiva, because they are like 2 o'clock in the morning and they are playing together, and they're very they like to destroy wherever they see. So it's getting more it's getting fun because now I'm not alone as a female, and we can plan together.
That's great.
Because of you are the female leader, what are the challenges you deal with every day?
Well, good question. It's where most of the guys it's like bruja. What do you think, bruja? What should we do, bruja? I had this problem. I'm actually only the moderator of my community. My brother is the owner, and they some kind of see me as a leader, and I'm really thankful about it. But I'm not. I mean, I think, and someone told me once, stop being a mom for them. So, well, it's one of the biggest challenges that I think I have having to play with guys is to understand them. I mean, the guy that I know is my brother, and we live, my brother and my mom, together, and that's all. I mean, it's the first time that I'm in some kind of video game or this kind of fantasy world.
Yeah, fun.
This was so great, and I want to thank you to be the first guest in this third show. It was so awesome to hear your experiences and everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Can you hold us a little bit to the end of the interview with Kelly so we can go into a little panel with certain things?
Sure, of course.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, so before I introduce our next guest, we'll have some more questions coming up, and just so that we know who your questions are directed to, if you're directing it to Kelly, please put the @ and @Kelly, so we know to ask her, and that it's not something for Evil Witch earlier. All right. So speaking of Kelly, she's no stranger to Hangouts, and we've been talking about her weekly Hangout that everyone is welcome to join. You can learn more about it on our Behind the Scanner page. And yeah, it's a great place to talk about all things Ingress and Niantic. Kelly Kolton, aka Agent Kelly, she's joining us from Chicago, Illinois, and she's a self-described enlightened agent to the core. So welcome.
Hi, Daphne. Thanks for me tonight.
Thanks for being here.
Welcome, Agent Kelly. I just like saying that; it's so fun. Agent.
I know.
So you and I have known each other for a while now. We shared a moment over crepes in San Francisco.
We did.
People who are watching now or later that may not know you, can you tell them a little bit about yourself? When did you start playing Ingress, and why? How'd you get into it?
Yeah, of course. Well, I started playing Ingress in November 2012. I begged for an invite, just like everyone else. So some of us remember those days of, coming up with crazy art projects and things like that. I got my invite by creating a Pinterest board, which you can still actually follow, pinterest.com/kellykolton/Ingress. So check that out. That's what granted me my invite. And I kind of got interested in it because on Google Plus, I was following all these people that were talking about NianticProject.com. And I got really interested in the story, what was going on with P.A. Chapeau and the Niantic investigation. And I just found it really interesting to see the story unfolding day after day with, leaked documents and, audio recordings of, phone calls and emails, things like that. I just thought that was a pretty neat way to tell a story. And in terms of the actual game, well, I thought it was just such a cool concept that, you were going around to these different places in the world, and basically the world is your chessboard. We're all playing this crazy game and, exploring different places, and that is just so much fun. And, part of starting, back in November was, you would look on the Intel map and see all these tiny towns in Illinois that would have unclaimed portals. And so nowadays when you go somewhere and you see unclaimed portals, you're just like, that's mine. So yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. I never thought I would be so into a game. I really thought it would be like Angry Birds, where I downloaded this game and I'd be bored with it, 2 weeks later.
And here you are.
Here I am.
Yeah, good. Well, something that, by the way, I meant to tell you, your April Fool's joke posts were hilarious. But something that was like the calendar girls of Ingress, when you got to travel around with some of the Elite V. But something that you sort of alluded to is getting your master's degree, and was wondering, what's your master's in, and have you been able to apply any of it towards your Ingress play, or helping organize your communities, or even the hangouts that you host or events?
Yeah, definitely. I'm studying to get my master's in business administration in marketing, which I actually work in marketing in my real life day job when I'm not hosting the weekly hangouts and, wandering around the world. Marketing plays a big part of what I like to do with Ingress. A lot of times I'm writing sit reps and, helping come up with some different video ideas and other just fun, creative pursuits. You mentioned the April Fool's calendar. That was a lot of fun to put together. In regards to the Hangouts, that's something I've actually been able to bring back into my job. I'm actually trying to work on a couple educational Hangouts for the university where I work.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I could get paid to do this. That's what everyone wants, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yes. Kelly, being one of those person that has been in a lot of anomalies, how did your experience at Lake Geneva is in compare, as it was your first anomaly, right? So,
yeah.
So how it was compared to the 13 Magnus or recursion anomalies on the final events?
Well, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin was one of the first events that I attended in person and, helped with a lot of the planning. I planned Cahokia as well, but unfortunately I couldn't be there, which is one of the things I really regret not being able to go to. But it felt good to be able to participate in advance. And really that's been one of the fun things to get involved with, is some of the planning for the different anomalies. And, the one thing that's remained the same from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which was in March of 2013, the planning has stayed the same, but in regards to what things are different up till now with 13 Magnus and recursion, the need to have this global collaboration and the global teamwork, that has become more important than ever. And that is something that is just, I don't think we all even imagined that it could come to be that big of a collaboration. And it's kind of funny because it's all coming full circle, as this weekend I'll be in Madison, Wisconsin for the anomaly.
Wow.
That should be fun.
Looking forward to it.
So Agent Kelly, do you mind if we do a little bit of word association? These questions are fascinating, but let's change it up a little bit, do something we haven't done yet. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I mean, okay.
So I'll say a word, and you say the first thing that comes to your mind, all right? We'll start off with something easy. How about bacon?
Crowd pleaser.
Interesting. I would have gone with Joe Philly, but okay. Ingress.
Awesome.
About Jarvis.
Thought-provoking.
What about Ada?
Worrisome.
Interesting. How about Susanna Moyer?
She's very nice.
Actually, in homage to her, I've been wearing a black V-cut T-shirt every single week thus far. So, the Ingress report.
interesting.
Okay.
Especially lately.
How about the Ingress
Oh, yeah.
report?
Pretty hilarious.
Capsules?
I wouldn't know.
You don't have
Oh.
Oh, jeez. What about shards?
Nightmare.
Nightmare. Following up on Nightmare, how about Epic Beard?
Epic Beard. Wow.
That was a user-submitted one, by the way. So.
Oh, really? Are you the user, Andrew?
It's possible. Alright. Speaking of actually user-submitted questions, mind if we take a few?
Of course.
There is a really, really good one from, I am going to crush his first name, but Tanmoy Islam, I think is his name. He wants to know that he just started playing Ingress yesterday. What would be ideal strategies to level up quickly, and how does he, I guess, sort of advance his learning of the game?
Well, that's an interesting question. In terms of leveling up quickly, my advice would actually be to not level up quickly. Part of the fun, for me at least, was, going every step of the way and just really enjoying, the discovery of going to different portals and, really understanding and making mistakes, when you deploy closer than 40 meters to the portal and then other people, come at you. Why did you do that? That helps you actually learn. And, if you level up too quickly, you might not learn some of the best practices, for lack of a different phrase, in how to play the game. What sort of, ways to play our best. And if you're just first starting out, I would also make some real-world considerations. Definitely buy an external battery pack.
Ooh,
Maybe even buy two battery packs. And, think about a hybrid car.
Or a bicycle.
Or a bicycle, maybe a, because XM isn't the only thing that fuels this game.
Very, very true.
Good walking shoes.
Yeah.
And always bring water with you. You're going to get thirsty while you go out. And there is always a joke. Some of my friends, we joke about the third rule of Ingress, and that's that before you leave your house or your office or the restaurant, make sure to use the restroom before you leave, because what's going to happen is that you will leave the restaurant or wherever you were, and you will take the Ingress scenic route to get home, which could be in many, many hours. So always think of those real world, problems so that you won't have to later. You can just enjoy yourself and have, awesome Ingress binges, back to the leveling up. Definitely team up with some other players in your community. I have a lot of good memories of being kidnapped, for lack of a better word, by some of my teammates who were maybe getting a little antsy that I was not leveling up quick enough. But we had such a great time just, spending an evening and, attacking and linking it up and then grabbing drinks afterwards. So a lot of fun.
I think for any new player, I think it's really important to reach out to the people around you. Use the comms to find the communities and reach out to those players who are gonna help shape the, I guess, Ingress experience, for lack of a better word, for however long you're gonna play. So good answer. All right, our second one comes from Xander Avila. He wants to know what your most memorable mission that you've participated in to date is.
My most memorable mission to date. Wow. I would say I'll just never forget some of the trips that I've taken to visit with friends and play during some of the anomalies. I was at 13 Magnus in San Francisco and Recursion in LA. And those experiences were just so much fun. I mean, of course, it's, a lot of time and, expense to, go out there. But, if you can just save all your, vacation time to just do one awesome trip like that, I would highly, highly recommend it. There's just this excitement of being in a different city, and you're meeting all different players and learning, how they play Ingress in their city. And, I guess it's not really like a mission. I didn't hike 3 miles out to, some remote location to throw a link. But, I guess it was kind of just a mission to, have fun and socialize and, get to meet some really interesting people. And I feel very blessed that I've gotten to meet, some of the movers and the shakers in Ingress. So, Andrew, yourself, you are included in that.
Oh,
quite the mover.
I appreciate that. All right. Jorge, do you have a question?
Do you want to ask another question? There's another interesting question.
No, I think we'll save some of the other ones for the panel. There's some pretty good ones that have come in. So.
Yeah. Okay. Kelly, being so active in the Ingress world, how much time do you spend on Ingress-related activities each week?
Each week? Well, I'd really like to say that I spend about as much time on Ingress as, anyone would spend with any kind of hobby, I'd like to say it's a healthy level. But it's definitely become...
Okay.
Why are we all laughing about that?
I think we're all in a little bit of a denial about that. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely times that I've, shown up a little bit later because I've been, sneaking in a couple portals on the way to or from somewhere. But
how much is a little bit later?
I would say the latest I've been is maybe an hour late to a function because I was playing Ingress on the way to get to somewhere.
How many hours in a row?
No comment. But yeah, and in terms of, like actual playing, I know a lot of people head out at night and or wake up ridiculously early in the morning and run out and play. But, I've been kind of more of a laid-back player. I tend to, schedule in my Ingress time. And, there's so many, like, creative projects that I find myself getting into that, sort of interject themselves into my day. So it's hard to even say how many hours. More than I'm willing to admit.
Yeah, sure. I understand that.
So the
Andrew,
name of
you got a question?
Yeah, the name of the show is obviously behind the scanner, and we kind of want to get to know you not just as an Ingress player, but a person. And people might be interested, maybe not, to know that you're a pretty die-hard sports fan as well. So, getting a little bit more personal, what is your prediction for the two teams that'll be in the NBA final, and how did my Washington Wizards beat your Chicago Bulls in the first round of the playoffs? Boom!
Oh, I know, right? As far as the Bulls go, I mean, we just could not get our scoring down. It's a little bit heartbreaking, going through a rough season with doubles. But, I could never not be a Chicago Bulls fan, growing up here in Chicago, watching Michael Jordan play, and, those were good times. But in terms of predictions, I would say it's going to be thunder and heat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. As much as I hate the heat.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know if we've talked about this, Andrew, but like I'm actually a big college basketball fan. NCAA, March Madness. It was actually kind of a difficult end of recursion for me because things were lining up with the Final Four games, so I had to make sure I had time to play Ingress and to keep an eye on the pools. But I managed to get second and third place in the two brackets I was in, so
Not
too bad.
I finished. I think my brackets were busted pretty early, so.
Yeah, well, Michigan and Michigan State both let me down, so we're not going to talk about that final round.
Nice.
Kelly, did you play video games in general before Ingress?
I did when I was younger. I was really big into Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and I really liked a computer game called King's Quest on my old Windows 386 computer. I don't know if you've heard of King's Quest. You played this prince, and he would walk around to different islands, exploring and picking up different items, and there was sort of a story that this prince was trying to get, to save the princess. Totally formulaic, right? But it was really neat that you had to, acquire these different items, and then later in the game you would find that you needed those to solve, different problems that would come up in the story. And, there were different riddles, so lots of puzzles and things like that. So it was almost like a all virtual version of Ingress.
Okay.
But yeah, I have an Xbox, but I never play it. I never play my Xbox. It's way more fun to play Ingress and be outside.
I'm kind of like that with my
That's
Wii.
true.
Yeah.
Really true.
They do have a college basketball March Madness game.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Well...
Don't encourage her. We want her out in the field, Andrew. All right. So back to, in the beginning when I was introducing you, we talked a little bit about, or I mentioned that you have a weekly Ingress happy hour hangout, and currently you're doing those on Tuesdays. And for those who are new and aren't aware of it, can you describe for them what it is and how they can participate?
Yeah, the Ingress Happy Hour is a video hangout, which, like you said, Daphne, it's on Tuesday nights. And I maintain a little list and invite agents of all levels and factions to join in. Unfortunately, it's limited to the first 10 people that log on. And sort of the idea behind the happy hour was that it was just sort of a casual, informal chat to, share ideas and, just be able to speak freely about, our thoughts on the game and, things that were going on in the story, or, boast about different, accomplishments, or, complain or express our frustrations with different, game, things that were happening in the game or other players or situations. And, it was interesting because when I started it, it was really meant to be sort of like meeting up at a bar to talk about, Ingress and connect people that were, far away from each other. Because back in the winter of 2013, 2012, many of the beta testers were just very spread out. So you had, people in all different parts of the world and country that were showing up in the early days of my happy hour. We had people from outside of Illinois, coming in from LA and Denver and DC. I mean, you guys have stopped into the happy hour so many times, and it's just kind of grown from there, and it's been a lot of fun. So if people want to join in and try to be one of those 10 people, which people come and go, so they can always try again. It's not public, just to keep out like some of the spammers and unsavory characters, or people who aren't even going to talk about Ingress. But you can actually go on either the Meridian Project Google Plus page or my own page, and you can leave a comment, and I will add you to the invite list.
Yeah, great. And yeah, it's been really fantastic for me to get to know and meet other players from, not just around the country or across the country, but around the world. So thank you for hosting that. It's been beneficial for me as a player.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's helped me enjoy the game even more. But yeah, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to do the Andrew thing, but Agent Kelly, for taking the time to talk with us tonight. And yeah, I look forward to hopefully seeing you at future anomalies or participating in your weekly Ingress Happy Hour Hangout.
You're welcome anytime.
Great. And are you available to spend some time on our panel discussion?
Of course.
Excellent. And we've got Evil Witch back on. So we have some really great user-submitted questions, which, of course, I'm going to bring up as well. I don't know how productive your workday was today, but I think Hangouts was certainly exploding with talk about the new levels coming out, and wondering what your guys' thoughts are and their impact on Ingress. So thank you for submitting those questions. It's at Ryan, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name, Cubillas, and Victor Guzman. So I'm going to start off with you, Evil Witch, now that you're back on.
Thank you. So the question is about the new levels and my thinking about and the level that I am now.
If you want to share, you do not have to, but I'm sure you're getting pinged a little bit here and there. But sort of what impact would that have maybe on your future play, or how the teams may work together?
Currently, I am level 10, the Perfect Witch. However, I just saw that my gear is augmented. I mean, you're getting the pack for the levels when you're leveling up, but they still being level 8. I would love to see actually something happening. I mean, impacting in the actual game. Instead of only getting level 8 gear, you can have more, and now I know that we have as well the Ultra Strikes. My impact is, well, I'm now making sure, and I will make sure that my teammates are as well getting the new levels, and I'm sure that eventually Niantic will come with some extra stuff to do or some extra missions to do for the higher levels, because as well in this case, well, we had for a long time the goal to reach level 8 in order to go higher, reach farther for the links and everything. So now is what I'm waiting for. I have now my level. I want to do something extra with it.
Yeah, no, I feel you, sister. How about you, Jorge?
Well, I don't know. I had to come back to the special powers issue that we had just talked about the last 2 episodes. Being a new level, I'm now level 9, and I'm on the edge of 3 gold medals. So if I reach them in the next few days, I'm gonna be 11, I think. But well, it doesn't matter if you are 8 or 16 in this moment, because you don't have any special powers because being a different level. So I'm willing and I'm waiting, and I really want to know what we are going to be able to do with these new levels. You know, it's that's the I don't know if this expression is just this kind of expression, but this is the cherry in the top of the cake. Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, I understand.
how we
How
say
about
it.
you? Oh,
Yeah. So this
yeah, no,
that's
I
the
hear
thing.
you.
Yeah, that's the thing. We have to know, and I think really soon, what are we going to be able to do?
Yeah, no,
I'm sure
you know,
about it.
that equivalent of an extra, was it L4 power cube, is when the teammate had put it. But yeah, who knows? Maybe the next update. But yeah, how about you, Kelly? Your thoughts on the new levels?
I think the new levels, I mean, we've all been wanting the new levels for a really long time now. And, you know, I can understand the whole, you know, maybe it doesn't give us, you know, new superpowers or, you know, special weapons. But just being able to, you know, see that little bar increase again, that has been really kind of cool because, you know, once I hit level 8, I kind of felt like, okay, I've done it. I can now, you know, lay my level 8 resonators and, you know, use the best gear in the game. And, you know, now I can kind of do, you know, some of these other creative projects. But now with the new levels, I feel a little bit more, you know, re-energized to, you know, keep grabbing more AP. And it also creates this really friendly competition between you and your teammates. You know, some of the fun things while being out in different cities, you'll see people all, you know, hacking together, and all of a sudden, you know, one or two people start running up ahead, and, you know, you hear one person going, ah, and the whole, yeah, people are always trying to capture those unique portals, and so there's that friendly competition of trying to get those unique portals whenever you're in a different city, and that's been a lot of fun. That's been, you know, it's friendly, and you know, that's something that I don't think we would have had if it weren't for, you know, the badges. And now with the new levels, you know, we kind of have something else to aspire to. So I think it's a really cool change, and, you know, for especially like for someone like me, now I feel a little fire has been lit under me to get more AP and get better medals. And I really like how they tied in the medals with, you know, it wasn't just straight AP. It was also, you know, your accomplishments.
Yeah, well, speaking of the medals, Zach Johnson was asking, what badges will you be working on next? So, Andrew, if you want to share a little bit of the last question and also about your badge pursuit.
Well, to follow up on something Kelly said, I don't know anybody that would race ahead to capture portals.
No, never.
No, never. To touch on the last question a bit, you know, I think there's all sorts of players that play Ingress, right? And the badges kind of represent that spectrum to the best that they can. And being able to level up now without just focusing on AP, not just going out there and destroying stuff or making links, I think that's kind of cool. To some extent, you know, they are a little bit of what people have called vanity levels right now. There's no shortage of G+ posts with people, you know, touting, hey, I'm level 14, 13, and all that. But it's also, I think, brought some people back and motivated them to go out and do things where previously they weren't. There was some concern, I know we touched on a little bit last week about, you know, new players, but it's really easy to get to level 8 now. The amount of portals that are out there, I mean, at least in most places. I won't categorically say that across the entire Earth because it's pretty large, but I would say in most places it's still pretty easy to get to level 8. And with all the higher levels and the AP and all that, keep in mind they also increased the defensive mitigation for shields today as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They added 10 to everything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, offense was pretty overpowered to begin with. One person could go and destroy, the efforts of 30 people out in the field and totally just ruin their night. And so they're doing things to, I think, balance it a little bit. Touching on the badges, I play more for the social aspect and meeting people and talking to people. I went down into DC and met up with a bunch of resistance folks. I tried to destroy their portals. My battery ran out, and I got into their photo, sat there and talked, had a good time. That's why I play. I don't know that I have a mark specifically for what I want to, which badge I want to go for next. But that's me. I'm that guy who plays for the social aspect. I'm not the guy who plays for destroying things or capturing things or anything like that. So I know I'm 26 portals away, I think, from like gold, whatever the one is for capturing unique portals or something. So.
Well, maybe some people here can help you with some pointers for that.
Yeah, Andrew, run as fast as you can to the next portal.
In front of Daphne. Daphne, the next time we do a build, you have to be behind me. So.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You didn't tell us your new level, Daphne.
I am level 15.
Oh my god.
But I am far away from level 16, and I am.
That's why I'm only level 7. I'm only level 7 because I play with Daphne, and she takes everything from me.
That's not true. Okay, maybe a little bit, yeah. So maybe.
Wow.
But yeah, I know, and I tell my teammates that I'm not a competitive person, but it's true. I just get there first. No. All right. So as far as the badge pursuit, Kelly, what are you looking for, if any?
Well, Daphne, you're actually really inspiring to me because I really want to work on my Explorer badge, and I know I'm like very, very far off, but I really, that's the discovery has been just one of my favorite things in the game, and seeing all the great places you've been and the people that you've met, that sounds really cool. I think I'm going to tag along and be your shadow, just
yes, please.
And,
I would love to have the company.
Yeah, taking us talking to a new level.
But yeah, along with that one, the seer badge is something that I think I'd like to do a little bit better with. Let's see. I at least have it unlocked. I hate to say it. I only have 37 portals discovered. And, I'd really like to hit that 50 mark. I mean, it's just a very difficult thing to do. And especially, living in a city where, a lot of items are already in the game. So it's, you have to travel and hit those unique portals, hopefully capture them, and then hopefully discover some more. So I'm hoping that those will be the next two I can work for.
Okay, good. How about you, Jorge? What are you pursuing?
Well, I'm pursuing my three approximate golden medals, but I have one that I hasn't been able to accomplish, the guardian portal. I have just guarded for about 44 days, and that's it. So I need to have a guardian portal. That's going to be the goal now.
All right. So public plea to that your portal stand. All right.
What?
I don't know.
I don't have it. I don't have a guardian portal right now. I just have it. The longest portal that I had get into 44 days, but I don't have right now any guardian portal. I have to find one, but here in the city it's so difficult. And I have to go outside the city in a special mission, recognition, and I don't know. I had to find one.
Submission.
Yeah.
No, submission.
Good to
So
see.
submission. So I have to wait like 150 days to get my portal, and then 150 to get the black medal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe next year. Okay, well, we should start wrapping up. And let's see. So, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Behind the Scanner. We'll be back next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And if you know someone who'd be a good guest, please let us know at http://bit.ly/BTS_guest. And please check out Kelly Kolton's Ingress Happy Hour, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you can find that information on the Meridian Project page or Kelly's personal page. And we will put the link for both in our YouTube details for when if you.
Hey, Daphne.
Yes, sir.
If I can interrupt. Actually, we have our guest for next week confirmed. It's going to be Kent Long and Brian Chang. Two very, very interesting folks. Brian is from Hong Kong, and Kent is from Norway.
Oh, very exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah, we'll get to tune in. All right, everybody. Well, have a good night, and I hope you have a great week.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Daphne. Thank you, guests, special guests, amazing guests.
And good luck with your badge pursuits.
Good luck to you too. Thank you for having us.
Bye-bye.
Stay enlightened, my friends.